Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is Search Buzz Video Recap. Today is Friday, October 24th, and this is the news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Not sure what's with the lighting in here. It's really dark outside today. I don't know why. Rainy. Anyway, late Friday night into Saturday, Google started rolling out their Penguin algorithm. They didn't let anybody know. I had to bug them, and they actually confirmed it for me Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon or something like that. Anyway, I posted about it late Saturday night, doing all the coverage, and I said, yep, Google confirmed it. And a lot of people actually reported that it was rolling out late Friday night through, I believe, late Saturday, and then it's just stopped moving. We got more information from Google around that, where Google pretty much said, first they actually said it was completed rolling out, but they were wrong. It's still rolling out, and it will be rolling out for the next few weeks according to Google's PR FAR. He also added that it's a slow worldwide rollout, so it's global. So you may notice it settled down over the next few weeks. It was launched last Friday, and he also said it affected fewer than 1% of English US queries. He said obviously also the refresh is supposed to help those who cleaned up their act and obviously hurt those and demote those who actually were newly discovered as being spam. So these are the main key points as I want you to take away from this. The rollout started around late Friday, October 17th. It will continue for the next few weeks. It was a worldwide rollout. It impacted less than 1% of English queries, but keep in mind it might impact more or less of other languages. It's only a refresh. I believe it's only a refresh. It had no new signals. At least Google has not said they had any new signals. Again, it helps sites recover from previous penalties that have fixed their issues, and it demotes sites that are newly found to have bad link profiles. More around that is that we're noticing as of yesterday and also today, a lot of people are saying that the Penguin update is still being pushed out. People are noticing more fluctuations, more changes around sites that are related to Penguin. So you definitely want to keep an eye on it, and it definitely might be important for you guys to keep an eye on as SEOs. Google has promised to update the DMCA algorithm, specifically around piracy, that demotes sites that actually have a lot of DMCA takedown requests, piracy requests. And actually this morning I posted on the Search Engine Land that it looks like it actually rolled out over the past few days. I did my own checks using search metrics and other tools, and it does believe that a lot of torrent sites have seen a major drop down in rankings around that. So it looks like it was rolled out. I'm going to go ahead and scan the forums over the weekend, today, weekend, and Monday, and then do a post about it at this site, the Search Engine Roundtable, on Monday to let you know what has happened specifically. Panda 4.1 has rolled out. I think it's complete. I believe it's not complete. And now that it's not complete, I want you to go ahead and take the poll. So I have a poll here asking you what you impacted, how you impacted, and so forth. The current results look like this, so it's pretty wide in terms of the variations of the results. But definitely go ahead and send your friends here. We have about 320 responses. I want more responses. I want about 500 plus responses, so please tell your friends to go ahead and take that poll. Google AdWords has also implemented anti-piracy things around DMCA requests. Specifically, they have a new ad format for piracy-related terms. So if you do a search for the terms, things like download or free or watch, so for example, watch Star Trek Into the Darkness, you'll see this ad format that actually has specific places, promoted specific places around where you can watch it in a place that's legal, it's not pirated. And hopefully the search results actually were demoted around that as well. We also report that many SEOs are complaining or noticing that there's a major drop in videos in the Google search results. One said actually a 68%, you'll see the videos 68% less often than you would when it was previously. And they did a sample. Also the Google the Mozcasts looking at videos also shows a decline over the past month or so. So there's definitely a decline in that stuff. And also you have to keep into account when you do a search for things like how to tie shoes, it used to be a video that came up first. This video might have come up first. And now you actually get this answer box, which Google's promoting a lot more often these days. So keep that in mind as well. So your videos are probably less seen than in previous cases. Google, this is funny. So over the past several months or so, German publishers have been requesting Google to actually go ahead and remove their snippets from the search results because they feel Google's just copying their content and not giving them credit. That being said, Google did that. And what happened was the publishers are going bankrupt, or some of the publishers are going bankrupt because they're not getting enough traffic and not enough ad impressions to actually monetize their site. So now they want back in, but they still want Google to pay them because they're using their content for their own purposes, etc., etc., etc. Google's John Mueller said that you should use both XML sitemaps as well as RSS Atom feeds with pub sub hub. I like saying that. Anyway, the two different feeds. One specifically is for crawling, so if you want to make sure all your pages are crawled, use an XML feed, XML sitemap feed, so Google can find all your pages. Whereas the RSS Atom feeds are more about quicker discovery of new content. So use both, and obviously if you have an RSS feed on your website as well as an XML sitemap, you're pretty much golden. So that's another tidbit from Google. Which one did I just click on? All right, so I'm still pretty fascinated about this in the news box. So just to take you back, the in the news box specifically launched about a week ago around where basically it would show you non-news sources. So where's an image here? So here's an image. So in the news box, bring up non-news sources like Reddit, and we discussed this a few weeks ago and so forth. What's upsetting is that it seems like, actually it's not so upsetting. If you do a search for like Ebola or any specific, like Obama or anything like a generic keyword phrase that's typically news oriented, you will get 99% of the time, at least when I'm, I didn't do a real study, but based on my previous searches, you'll get most of the time news sources, Google News publisher sources. So I asked Google News' Stacy, she's a representative from the Google News team, if Google News publishers get priority in the news box, and she said no. I mean, she really had a tough time saying yes or no, basically saying that it's hard to describe priority. They want to show the most relevant stuff, even if it's from not from news sources. So that was pretty interesting to see, and you definitely want to go ahead and look at that if you are a news publisher. Also around that, I asked Stacy as well, since she was on a hangout, does the Google Search Quality team use, or does the Google Search Quality algorithm use the fact that you're a news publisher approved by Google humans as a factor in the Google algorithm, the Google organic algorithm? And Google's Stacy basically said yes. John Mueller basically said no. John Mueller said it's more about how fast they might index your site versus actually a ranking factor. And it's, again, very interesting to watch. You should definitely take a look at it. I don't think Stacy knows. It's not her department. But she think it would be a good quality signal, as would I, but whatever. Google's asking SEOs or webmasters, developers, and so forth to let you watch, let them watch you or observe you as you do your work. So they're asking those in North Africa, not West Africa, North Africa and Europe, if you're interested in actually going ahead and allowing Google or somebody from Google to sit over your shoulder and watch you, write notes, take notes on what you're doing as you develop websites, as you build out your marketing strategies, your web strategies, and then ask you questions. And they wanted to go ahead and do this about a day or two at your office to do it in, again, North Africa or Europe. So I asked the poll, I said, would you be willing to let Google sit over your shoulder and observe you as you work? And I actually, want to see, we got 100 results so far. It's about 50-50, half would, half wouldn't. It was more of a joke, but again, it's nice that Google's doing this. They say they're doing this to actually improve their communications and the webmaster tools and other things around that. So hopefully that will work well for them as well as for the larger community at whole. Apple Maps finally launched a new feature around allowing you as business owners to go ahead and claim your listing in Apple Maps. So if you did a search for a specific business using Apple Maps on your phone, iPad, computer, your Macintosh computer, it's not called a Macintosh anymore, is it? Anyway, you would go in here, you'd be able to claim your listings. I did it for Rusty Brick because it currently shows the old listing. I should actually check to see if it was updated. I searched for it, I was able to update my listing. They also have some new feature called Indoor, which actually is around iBeacons, which is really the future, and guys be thinking about that as a beta feature right now. But let me go ahead and see if Apple Maps has updated my listing. Rusty Brick. I don't think they have. No, it's still the old listing. It should take a few days to update. I updated it a few days ago, so I'm not sure what's taking so long, but hopefully it'll be updated soon. All right, 2 more things. This is hilarious. Stephen Colbert from the Daily Show, from Comedy Central on the Colbert Report, basically said he was complaining that Google had him listed, if you search for his name, as 5 feet 10 inches tall. So Google changed it, said 5 feet 10 and a half inches, 7.9 meter-inches, and he's shorter than Larry Page, shorter than Jon Stewart, and much shorter than Jon Stewart's shorter than he is, and Conan O'Brien's way taller. And again, this is all because of Jon Stewart's, Stephen Colbert's pretty funny rant on his Colbert Report. So you should definitely take a look at that. It's funny. It's just one thing that shows that Google will actually manually update the knowledge graph just to play some jokes. And finally, upsetting news, shocking news. A well-known, not respected, but a well-known black hat SEO, an 18-year-old black hat SEO, named Charles Flote? I don't know, whatever. Goes under the nickname Charles SEO, as well as Goddess SEO as one of his synonyms, was arrested over allegations of both hacking charges as well as possessing child pornography. He's one of the more well-known black hat SEOs out there, hacking sites and stuff like that. And he was actually arrested for it. David Naylor broke the news on Twitter, as well as Matt Cutts. There was a story on BBC about it. And there's a whole big thread about it in Black Hat World. Here's the story on the BBC channel, on the BBC News, around that type of, around his arrest. Supposedly he's going to be in court somewhere in the UK on November 3rd or 5th. To face those charges and enter his plea. So he'll be in court in Birmingham Crown Court on November 5th. Anyway, that's the search news over at the Search Roundtable, seroundtable.com. Today, again, is October 24th, Friday. Everyone have a great weekend, and thanks so much for listening. Bye.